Welcome to another episode of Relatively Famous, the podcast where I, Chip White, interview relatives of famous people. Today's guest is Kelly Knievel, son of daredevil Evel Knievel. I'm super excited to have Kelly on today. And if you're looking for a wonderful family vacation, go to visitmyrtlebeach.com. That's visitmyrtlebeach.com. They have golf, tennis, fishing, 2,000 restaurants, 60 miles of unspoiled beach. It's a great place for a family vacation. If you happen to have an autistic or sensory sensitive child, go to visitmyrtlebeach.com and check out Traveling the Spectrum on Peacock. There's a link there that talks about how to make traveling easier with autistic children. Again, go to visitmyrtlebeach.com. And let's welcome Kelly Knievel.
Relatively Famous podcast with Chip White.
Kelly, welcome to Relatively Famous, the podcast.
I don't know if I'm relatively famous or not.
Well,
but whatever you say, Chip.
Yeah, well, you're a relative of famous. That's the thing is, it's a play on words. You're a relative of someone famous. I think I lose some guests because they think I'm making fun of them, but I'm not, man. It's the fact that we're related to famous people.
This is very tricky. Very good title you came up with there.
Yeah. Hey, I have to say, man, your dad was a hero as a kid. I spent more time building ramps and making bad jumps on bicycles and then dirt bikes as a kid because everybody my age wanted to be Evel Knievel.
Yeah, he certainly ingrained himself into the culture of America and inspired a lot of people. No question about it.
Yeah, which brings to a question of it's as inspiring. Have you guys seen the movie, or what's your thoughts of the family on the movie Hot Rod, where Evel is the star even though he's not in it?
I have not seen the movie Hot Rod. I haven't seen a movie in 10 years. I'm not kidding you. I just don't. I don't know why. I just don't go to them.
I hear you. There's I just watched the trailer of it. It's hilarious, man. I can't remember the actor's name. He's from.
Is it out yet?
The trailer's out. I think the movie's out too. It's out, but it's called Hot Rod. It's funny. He wants to be a daredevil.
One of the characters is Evel Knievel.
Well, no, he inspires to be a daredevil like Evel Knievel. He keeps talking about the whole movie how he wants to be Evel Knievel. So,
is it a funny movie, like a parody?
It's a comedy. It's not a parody, but it's a comedy.
All right, I'll go see it on your recommendation.
There you go.
How's that?
Perfect.
Be my first movie in a long time. I'll go take a look at it.
Excellent. Heck, maybe even be able to stream it for all I know, man. I'm not a tech dude.
All right.
So I appreciate when you got back, man. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of your dad's. I actually met him once in the early 80s. I was a DJ at a nightclub in Myrtle Beach at the Hilton, and he came up, and it was always a contest at the company that I worked for of who famous came in your club, and I was like, Evel Knievel was in my club, man.
All right. That doesn't surprise me.
Being the son, and I know how my mom and my dad and how I am with my kid, don't do anything dangerous. What was it like for you? Was your dad like, get on the motorcycle, son, make a jump? What was your dad like? Were you trying to be like him, or was he always saying, son, don't follow my footsteps?
I think when I was younger, I think he kind of thought it was neat if his kids would follow in his footsteps. But I wanted nothing to do with it. My brother wanted to be famous. My brother was a far more talented motorcycle rider than I was. And he put me on a motorcycle, and I made like some small jumps and stuff. But I've always shied away from the spotlight. Like, I was the oldest kid. People like to say I got my dad's brains and my brother got his balls, which is probably accurate.
That's funny. Yeah, Robbie made a pretty good name for himself as a jumper.
Yeah, he did. It's hard to follow in your of the most famous person's footsteps, and he made a career out of being a daredevil. Yeah.
So what was life like for you? What did you, since you weren't going to follow in the daredevil aspect and you got his brains, what was life like for Kelly Knievel?
Thank God we grew up in a small town. So we were born and raised. My parents were both born and raised in Butte, Montana, and that's where we grew up. And it's people's idea of celebrity today. It's so misguided compared to the way that we grew up. Like their idea of celebrity is something on social media and Hollywood and glitz and glam, and that's just not the way we grew up. You know, we grew up mowing our lawn and digging fence holes and going duck hunting and going fishing. And my dad took us everywhere, though. Like he was out living his life, larger than life, being who he wanted to do, and he just drug us along with him. And so we got to experience a lot of that, but not in a Hollywood way. Just in a, come on, we're going to Florida, we're going to New York, I got to jump here, we're going to go see this. I mean, my dad loved, like, he grew up in a small town. He'd never experienced any of these things before. And he had a lust for life. So he wanted to go experience all these things and do all these things. And he wanted his kids to be part of it as well. So I guess we were fortunate in that we had a lot of experiences that most people don't get to have when they're growing up. But at the same time, we still had a small town life. And I think it was a good balance.
I grew up in, it's now Myrtle Beach, North Myrtle Beach area. So it was small when I was growing up. It's in the winter, it was, 10,000 people. What's your fondest, or the thing that really of your childhood in Butte, Montana, really just poof? You smell something, you see something, a color. What's something that instantly pops in your mind of your childhood in Butte, Montana today that triggers it? Does that make sense?
Well, my mom and my two sisters still live in Montana, so I have a bunch of nieces and nephews there. And we grew up fishing and bird hunting and playing golf. I mean, our life was in the outdoors. Montana is a vastly different place now than it was when I was growing up, but it was just really, I think, just being in the outdoors. The solitude of being on a river by yourself, or it's just being outside.
Now, I think when we chatted briefly the other day, you were about to tee off. Are you a big golfer?
I'm an avid golfer. I play 200 times a year. I play golf almost every day. I just think it's good to get out. You got to get outside. Some point during the day, you got to get outside. So if I don't have a game with my regular buddies, I'm out playing 9 holes by myself at night, which I really enjoy. I'm by myself. There's nobody else on the golf course. Just get outside for an hour and a half.
So if you ever shameless plug, have you ever had a chance to play Myrtle Beach in my area? I think your dad was there playing golf when
my high school friends and I can't remember, maybe we used to go on a golf trip every year. And one year we went on a golf trip to Myrtle Beach. We rented a house. We had a cook. We had maids. I think there was 10 of us. We had a great time.
Well, hopefully you'll get back, man. There's some good golf tournaments going on there pretty soon. So
one of these days.
Yeah. What was for you as a kid watching the things that your dad did? I don't want to make it all about your dad, but your dad did some dangerous things that most kids' parents didn't do. I mean, what was it like as a child watching him do these things and then wondering? I mean, obviously he's in the hospital, he's okay. I mean, how was that as a kid?
Well, to us, it was normal. Like he would make a performance. He made 175 jumps. He crashed maybe 11 or 12 times. So those are the things that really made him famous. But when he would get hurt, he was, I can't think of another word for my dad. He was indomitable. Like he just was indomitable. He was just the most had the most powerful, positive personality. So he would get hurt, he'd be in the hospital, and he'd be thinking of what he was going to do next. It would just have the strongest drive to succeed.
Now, what are you doing today? I think that I found you on social media through the Evel Knievel's Facebook page. What's life like for Kelly today? What's going on with your life?
Well, I moved. I moved to Las Vegas 40 years ago. I borrowed $1,000 from my sister and got on a Greyhound bus, answered an ad in a newspaper, and got dropped off in the bus depot in Las Vegas to make my fortune. Didn't know any better. So I've been here for 40 years. I've done a number of things in my life. Like my dad always made a lot of money, but he spent it faster and more than he could make it. So at one point in his life in the 80s, he was just dead busted. So I'd done well when I moved to Las Vegas. So I bought all of his memorabilia. I had to buy it at a hawk, and he'd loaned his jewelry to people for money. And I bought everything back, and I bought all his rights. But I just leased it to him for $1. Like dealing with my dad, you had to keep him out at arm's length or your arm was coming off at the shoulder. So he lived his life, and he had a resurgence in his life. He had a resurgence in his popularity. And he was able to make, like, he's the only guy I know that could go to sleep and figure out a way to make, how am I going to make 100,000 tomorrow? And he wake up in the morning with an idea. You just make it happen somehow. So he traded on his celebrity and his success and everything that he'd accomplished in his life. And then after he died, then I sort of took over. Well, I took over the brand. So I manage the Evel Knievel brand. And I like to tell everybody, you know, my dad's the one who crashed. He's the one who had the ambition. He's the one who had the character. He's the one who had the courage. He's the one who had the personality and the drive to go out and make the character of Evel Knievel. And my job is just not to screw the whole thing up. So that's my job. Is what I do now is I take care of the Evel Knievel brand as best I can. I still got to fit it around. I tell people all the time, it's real hard to find a job you can organize around fishing and golfing all the time. Somehow I've managed to do it.
That's great. You know, I think he's getting a resurgence again. Maybe it's social media, but my Facebook is loaded with the Evel Knievel jumping motorcycle old commercials where it comes out of the 2-story house and it jumps.
Yeah.
What's been the most rewarding piece of memorabilia you've recovered recently, or because I know they found one of his old trucks and restored it. I remember seeing that on one of the shows. What's the most, this is the golden halo for you? Well,
I own all the big pieces of my dad's memorabilia, his Sky Cycle and his 3-wheel jet motorcycle, and it's a number of motorcycles and all of his personal effects. There's a guy named Lathan McKay who went around the country and also has not the things I own, but he's purchased a bunch of the scattered memorabilia. I mean, it's taken him 15 years to do this, and he's assembled it all. And we had it in the museum in Kansas. Now we're going to move it to the museum in Las Vegas. And then we're going to add my stuff to the museum in Las Vegas. I would say the thing that I like the most is, like, I have his cape. Out of all the things I own, there's this simple little cape with a couple buttons on it. Like, I think that's pretty cool.
He was kind of like Elvis in his costuming and his presence. It's like, not only, I'm not just going to jump, I'm going to be a force when I walk in the room.
That's called showmanship.
Yep.
He was a showman, a very intelligent showman. just happened to be a showman risking his life, not playing the piano.
Yeah.
So
there's
what he did.
There's always been a rumor that he bet a guy that he practiced, but he bet a guy he could beat him in ping pong using a Coca-Cola bottle, and that he practiced and he did it. Is that just a myth?
That's not something I know about.
Okay.
What is a good story though?
Yeah, I mean it from my childhood has always been out there. The Evel he never lost a bet. Never lost. He calculated whether, so he practiced with this Coca-Cola bottle, and he got really good. And he bet this guy, and yeah, I don't know, but that was always one of the. Well, legends.
There was probably something to that. He loved to gamble, though. That I can tell you. He told me one time. He said, "Kelly, I'm such a sick gambler. I took Pakistan over Bangladesh the other night in a cricket match." It was funny like that.
Well, being in Vegas, I guess it made it a lot easier, you know. So what was like for you 40 years in Vegas? Because obviously there's been such huge changes in Vegas over the last 40 years. What have you seen? What was life like? Were you in the casino business? Or again, first off, I don't do a lot of research. I like to have a conversation. So
I don't have the education to do anything intelligent. Like I can't compete with guys that go to business school on the East Coast. Like they run circles around me. But I've got common sense, and I've been in the sales business. I've had a construction company. I'm running the brand. I'm, doing fine.
Now, when you travel, obviously, I mean, White for me is a pretty common name, but sometimes people get the connection. Knievel is not a common name. What's the reaction?
Every single person that sees the name, I am not kidding you. Every single day, if I pull out my credit card or my IDs, every single person asks me if I'm related to Evel Knievel. Like it's just astounding. Even young people, it's just astounding to me how many people know Evel Knievel. I literally was the most famous man in the world at one point. Just it's everybody asked me about my last name.
Speaking of around the world, what's the did you travel around the world with him? I know you said you get in the car and you guys would go stuff. Did you go to events with him, to jumps with him? Were you there during many of them?
Yeah, we went to a lot of his performances. Let's see. He crashed in England. We flew over after he crashed in England. But most of his performances were all in the United States. But yeah, we used to travel with him a lot. I mean, he used to drag us along with him. That's just all there is to it.
I watch Daredevils today, and I mean, some of the things they do, the Red Bull stuff, it's crazy. But I look back at your dad. He was doing this stuff on a Harley Davidson, which weighs 4 times as much as these little dirt bikes that people are using today.
Professional stunt riders, I would call them.
Yeah. He was doing jumps on Harleys.
Professional athletes.
What was his reasoning for? I mean, obviously, maybe it's American. What was the?
There was no reason. Harley Davidson paid him to jump the motorcycle, so that's the motorcycle he used, and that's all they knew better at the time. And that's, I mean, he was the first one to do it. I'm sure he could have gotten on a motocross bike, but then he would have looked silly, wouldn't he? Yes. Compared to getting on a Harley Davidson XR 750. So he probably figured that out and probably figured, well, I can jump this far on the Harley Davidson XR 750. There's no need to, no one else was jumping further or riding any other motorcycles. And I mean, that's just the way it was.
I think there should be a Evel Knievel. They should bring back the XR 750 limited edition. I mean, maybe you guys have talked about it.
Jeez, Chip, you'd think anybody ever thought of that before?
I know it. I know. Why won't they listen, right?
Triumph, the Triumph motorcycle company is, that's the motorcycle my dad started on that he crashed at Caesar's Palace with.
Okay.
They have a new rocket Evel Knievel model out that's just awesome.
Okay, so now that's something that in my mind, and I'm sure it's that way with most people, I did not know or did not associate he was jumping on a Triumph at Caesar's Palace.
Yeah, because when he was on Wide World of Sports all the time, he was always, which he has the highest rated Wide World of Sports show in history. He's got 4 of the top 10 Wide World of Sports shows, and he has the highest rated show, higher than Muhammad Ali boxing. And when he was on Wide World of Sports, he was always on a Harley Davidson. So that's why you associate it with.
Yeah, it's true. That is okay. Because I love Triumphs. So I think they're great.
Yeah.
What do you have kids and have they?
No, I don't have any children.
Okay.
Got a couple dogs and I got a sweet wife.
so you don't have to worry about them wanting to go jump things.
No.
What did you, when your brother started jumping, were you guys close? Did you follow his career too and kind of helping incorporate his brand into your dad's brand?
No, Robbie was always his own person. And he was born a rebel. So I was always a good kid. He was always the rebel. And he was always his own person with his own career. And I mean, he's really done some fantastic jumps. It's just hard to follow in the shadow of the original greatest daredevil of all time. I mean, Robbie's really done some spectacular things. It's always in my dad's shadow.
Yeah, I think that's quite a shadow that he cast. I mean, like you said, he was known around the world, and not only for his, he was just a larger than life character. And
yeah,
what's the biggest trait you think you inherited from your father? Because you definitely got some of his looks. I can definitely see the Knievel in you. So what do you think is like, this is my father?
It's just little things about me, it's just little things when I think about things that my dad does. It's just like I have no desire to be a big famous celebrity person. Like that is just not in me, but I can pick it out of my nieces and nephews. It's like there's a couple genes that stand out in the Knievels. One is vanity. The other one is they want to be famous. So, man, I can pick it out, and I've got 15 nieces and nephews. I can pick it out who has what, and every one of them is funny to me.
So is the Knievel family a pretty tight-knit family? Because it definitely is a name that draws attention.
Yes, but there's something else about us. We're like both of my parents. My mom doesn't get enough credit. Both of my parents are very independent people. Like they're both raised to take care of themselves in a small, rough mining town. Both my parents, there's four of us kids. I mean, they told all four of us, look, when you're 18, you're out the door on your own. All four of us were. I mean, that's just, we were raised to be independent. So they didn't steer us. They didn't smother us. They led by example, so to speak. They didn't really say, here's what you do. It's just that's just who they were and what they did. And that's all four of us kids we're all pretty independent, I would say.
Yeah, we just had recently Deepak Chopra's brother, Sanjeev, and he was kind of saying the same thing. It's like his parents, and you have to lead by example. He was telling a story about Gandhi and about how you can't just tell someone, you have to lead by example. My
dad had no problem leading by example, but my mom was the same way.
Now, and she's still in Montana, right?
Yeah, she lives in Montana.
What's her crazy question? What's her thought on the whole Yellowstone and what it's brought to Montana?
It's the biggest, fakest show. It's like Dallas was in the 19s. Remember the show Dallas in Texas?
Absolutely.
Yellowstone is just Dallas in Montana. It's like I've never even watched it. Or maybe I watched 5 minutes of it and I thought, oh my God, this is the dumbest show I've ever seen. I never watched it again. It's ridiculous.
So,
it's entertainment. It's entertainment.
So growing up in Montana around motorcycles, it's going to be a kind of a strange question, but because I can think of answers in my mind. But what did your childhood smell like?
What did it smell like? It smelled like a forest fire in the summer, because there's fires in Montana in the summer. And it was cold in the winter. I don't know what else to tell you.
I like the forest fires because I can relate to that smell too. It's been out in California for a while years ago. I know we're getting close to time. I try to keep it about 30 minutes. I'm going to ask a question. What's the one question I didn't ask you, or the one thing you really want people to know that we didn't talk about?
What a character. I just can't put into words what a force my dad was. Just an absolute force of nature. I mean, literally, he started jumping when he was 28 years old. And within 5 years, he was the most famous. He had to invent his own sport. He had to do his own thing. He had to manage it all by himself. He had to navigate territory that no one had ever seen or done before. And he's like, it's not like he was a quarterback and he had a path to follow, or an actor or a singer and he's doing something else somebody already did. I mean, I just can't explain to you how powerful the man's personality was and his drive. And it wasn't an act. It wasn't something he only did at shows. That's the way he was in everyday life, from sitting at the breakfast table to being on the golf course with his buddies, to hanging out in a bar, he just had a force of life.
With that force, and again, this is myth, or not myth, but rumors, but that he was all, because he was really nice when I met him, but he was also very generous and nice and polite. I mean, he was this force, but approachable. Is that the right word I'm looking for?
Yeah, he didn't think he was anybody's, well, I mean, he knew he was somebody special, but he wasn't putting on airs like I mean, he was still a regular person, which is what is so magic about his personality. And I have to remind people all the time, he's not a choir boy. He was a daredevil. And it's, people want to peg people into certain things in life, but that's why he was so approachable, because he was not putting on airs about, he was just exactly who he was. And can you imagine going from nobody to the most famous person in the world, all the temptations that get thrown at you, all the people that want a piece of you, all the people that, I mean, it had to be very difficult. Plus you have a wife and a family and like I can't even imagine how he navigated it all.
I can't either, because I'm definitely not anywhere in that category. Hey, you know what? This has been awesome talking with you, because I've always been a fan of your dad's, and getting to know you has been fun. And I'm going to have to get you on the golf course one day, get down to Myrtle Beach. Because, you know, I think I shoot a good 182 on the front nine. No, Kelly, this has been great. When do you think the museum's going to be open, and where in Vegas is it going to be for the future when people pick this episode up a year from now? Where can they hopefully go see?
Well, I hope it's going to be open in the fall, but they're a little behind schedule. We had a fall opening. It's in the new Arts District in Las Vegas, which is about a mile from downtown. So it's a real neat historic building, and it's all being restored, and it's going to house the museum, and I think people are going to like it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Be Evel Knievel's last jump.
Oh, that's a great name. And they can also follow you guys on social media, right? There's a Facebook page for the museum, and your Facebook page is that correct?
Oh yeah, everything. You just go to, we're all over our social media. My wife and I run it, and just us two take care of everything. Makes it easy.
Cool. Well, I'm honored to have talked to Evel's son, because again, I didn't break a bone, but he sure made me close to it as a kid. and I appreciate your time, Kelly.
All right. Thanks for the interview.
Thank you.
Anytime. If I ever get to Myrtle Beach, I'll stop in.
Excellent. Well, I'm in San Antonio, but I definitely will meet you.
Oh, you're in San Antonio.
I am, but I'll meet you in Myrtle Beach.
That's where you grew up, in Myrtle Beach.
I grew up there. Yeah. Yep. And I live in
My
San
wife and I
Antonio.
just went to Austin, and then we drove down to San Antonio. It's like one giant city.
It is. It truly is. And next time you're there, holler, and we'll go up to the ranch, and we'll just hang out and watch the sunset.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Kelly.
Yep. Talk to you later.
Okay.
Bye.
Kelly, that was great. Thanks for being a guest. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I've always been a huge Evel Knievel fan. And again, I want to thank you, the viewer, the listener, for spending your time with us. I'm super grateful for you. Without you, our podcast is nothing. I want to thank visitmyrtlebeach.com for their sponsorship. Again, that's visitmyrtlebeach.com. Go plan your amazing family vacation in the Myrtle Beach area. Check out my hometown. And if you have an autistic child or a sensory sensitive child, be sure to watch Traveling the Spectrum 1 and 2, that you can find links on visitmyrtlebeach.com. It's also streaming on Peacock. I want to thank Nelco Media, our partners. I want to thank Nelco Comics here in San Antonio for the great location. I love our comic book shop. If you're looking for that special comic book, be sure to check them out. It's Nelco Comics in San Antonio. If you happen to be a relative of someone famous and want to be a guest, or you know someone who's a relative of someone famous, reach out to me at podcastrelativelyfamous@gmail.com. That's podcastrelativelyfamous@gmail.com. Again, I'm grateful for your time, and thanks for joining us.
You've been listening to Relatively Famous with Chip White. Please like and subscribe to Relatively Famous with Chip White.